in life to call us a conglomerate. But we've got these multiple businesses that connect. So rent-to-rent service accommodation, coaching of rent-to-rent service accommodation, and now Ace Investment Properties for property acquisition. So to give a good example of everything we do and what we provide, and I'm now going to use this opportunity to explain. We're like, Bob, no worries. Jim will just pay Ace Investment Properties and Co. £1,000 monthly. Nothing will change for Jim. He just needs to sign a new 12-month tenancy. He'll pay us that £1,000 a month, and we'll give you 12,000 less any commission that we decide to charge for full management, of course. Bob's your uncle, like, that's amazing. Like, let me get that 5 figures. Good morning, guys. It's Monday, the 20th of June, 10:20. That's exactly what it is. It's 20th today, and there's 10 days to the 30th. I'm sitting here, just being a high-level entrepreneur, knowing that. I'm playing. But yeah, I've just had my first meeting of the day. We're gonna jump on a call again in 20 minutes, but I just thought I'd talk about it because I actually think it's very interesting what we're doing and the creative ways that we're doing to help people make money and get rich. Like, literally, that's what we're doing. So excuse the noise outside, construction or whatever. But so as some of you may know or may not know, I'm involved in the business of rent-to-rent serviced accommodation. And what that essentially is where you take on a property on a rental agreement, then you use that property primarily, but not has to be, on a nightly rate, and you work with companies, with professional clients who they need property for short to long periods, but not long enough that they take on a tenancy agreement with an agent. So we're like a relocation company. It's a niche market, and we serve a niche customer and solve a big problem that people are facing. So this business model has the opportunity to be quite lucrative because, as I said, we're solving problems. We work with companies who have got 38, 40 people that they want to house for weeks or months at a time. And it's not something an estate agent would deal with because they work with families and they work for 1 to 3 years. And it's not something that an individual would get involved with and use their one property, because when you're working with companies, they don't want to just fit 2 people. They want to know you can solve their whole problem, which is where we come in, because we've got a good large amount of properties, and we've also got what we've called a network. So that kind of seeps into the next business that we're involved in. So because we've been doing this business for a fair amount of time, six years, going on 7 now, we've been quite successful. We've been able to create a formula of reproducible results where we can now teach people how to do this exact same strategy. And the benefit that these people also get is they benefit from the network effects of our brand and our time in the industry. What I mean by that is, because we've been doing this for 6 years and we've got a large body of properties, we're able to get inquiries from big companies who want to source 50 to 100 people. We cannot fulfill all of those needs sometimes. So right now, all of our properties were fully booked. So every single property we had in Canary Wharf, Docklands, about 15 properties fully booked. And that's good. But what we still do is we get inquiries in because we're quite good and got the network of people that bring us bookings because we've been in the industry so long. So how that helps people is people that join our network and they learn this strategy, even from knowing absolutely nothing, or maybe transitioning from having buy-to-lets, HMOs, etc., into our industry of service accommodation. They can now benefit because we get the bookings that we're fully booked with and we pass them on. So it's like, you jump into the industry, I've got so many clients and I'm booked right now that I'm not just going to throw this away. I'm like, hey, here's this, make some money. Do you know what I'm saying? And you could do this yourself, which is what we're teaching you to get there long term, but you also benefit from just being in our network. So that's a training company essentially. So it's so much more than training and just coaching, because of literally what I just mentioned. Like, imagine going to school to learn how to make money, and while you're learning how to make money, they're like, hey, I'm making money here, like here's some of the money we're making. It's quite life-changing. That noise outside is really obnoxious. But so then also, because we're involved with property, and as I just said, we get these bookings and we're overbooked, and we share to our network, which is great for our network, but at the same time you still want to grow as a company. So now I've taken it upon myself to start a new business, which I believe is new. Like, maybe someone else is doing this and I just don't know because I don't see it. But anyway, nonetheless, it doesn't really matter. It's not about being the first, but being the best. So now I've got my property, my business, Ace Investment Properties, which mainly focuses on the acquisition of properties. When I say that, is working with landlords to essentially, on the surface level, it's just work. It's like a letting agent, estate agent. You get properties from landlords, but we don't give it to tenants, as we've just said. We actually, and this is where it comes into the whole point of digital marketing and constructing your offers, because what we actually provide to landlords is a new and improved service using the same asset they have, because the landlords have these properties that they let, but they're not aware of the immense benefit that they can provide, especially in the 2022 right now, where it seems like the government is honestly just against landlords. Like, they've got all these tax, all these regulations. To explain this in layman's terms, so as a business, everyone knows that you can expense things when you're doing business. So as a landlord, your property is kind of your business. So before, you could have, if I'm correct, Section 24, you could have expensed all of your costs, then you pay tax. But now the government want you to, before you expense anything, pay tax. So if you not in, it's a bit difficult to kind of understand and wrap your head around it. But it's essentially, you could have made 1,000 in revenue, expense 200, now pay tax on 800. They want you to pay tax on a 1,000, which makes a big difference because you're paying more in tax when you've got expenses. So it's not great. So, but working with us in the service accommodation industry, we actually furnished short-term FHLs, furnished lets. The government call it something weird, but basically what we do, you're still allowed to do that, Section 24. And then with Ace Investment Properties, one of our main USPs when acquiring properties is that we can offer landlords 1 year's rent in advance. I'm seeing myself now, is that there's a certain sector of investors where this is a good thing for them, because what I'd call savvy investors. Like, if you give, or someone who's not particularly investor savvy, £10,000 from an asset that they would have got over 12 months, they'll probably just spend it and it won't be too much benefit. And after 6 months, they're struggling to pay a mortgage, which exists. People who are like that, even people who are landlords and savvy enough to acquire property. But there's a certain sector group of investors that will take that lump sum and then use it to apply it to generate them more money than they would have waited 12 months to get. So those are the kind of people we're looking for. So I've gone on a big tangent, but essentially what I'm doing with this particular client, who happens to be a coaching client who we've acquired through Facebook advertising to join us. So he's come, seen a Facebook ad, watched the webinar, jumped on a call with myself, come to our training day boot camp, and now he's looking to join our one-to-one membership and become part of our network that I mentioned earlier. So the beautiful thing about this is now we're able to really bring the full force of all the assets that we've got together to make someone really successful and a lot of money. Yeah, I think it's a bit early in life to call us a conglomerate, but we've got these multiple businesses that connect. So rent-to-rent service accommodation, coaching of rent-to-rent service accommodation, and now Ace Investment Properties for property acquisition. So to give a good example of everything we do and what we provide, and I'm now going to use this opportunity to explain some of the things that we do. So if anybody has anything that they can offer, potentially create an opportunity for themselves and us, beautiful. So we've got a client who's, as I've said, we've used Facebook ads, digital marketing, clicked the ad, watched the webinar, traveled through a webinar funnel, jumped on a call with me. Now they've booked them in for a boot camp, physical boot camp. They've come in to the coaching funnel now. They're learning. Now they want to join the one-to-one mentorship. That's their decision. So the coaching is 6 months. It's an intimate one-to-one. So it's a high ticket offer is what I'd call it. So one of the ways that we're looking to help this prospective client get started, kickstart their business and their education, because he's currently a landlord and he's been involved in single let, Ace Investment Properties has the ability and the license to offer landlords 1 year's rent up front. So usually we do this with vacant properties and we tenant them, and we command quite high rents because of our other businesses and connections, etc., etc. But on occasion, at our discretion, we can also help landlords whose properties are already tenanted, so they've already got a tenant in place paying them monthly, to have the tenant pay us and our licensing company monthly, and we then pay the landlord 1 year's rent up front. So to reiterate, if I had a property, Bob has a property, his tenant is Jim pays Bob £1,000 every month. I can, instead of Bob waiting 12 months to get 12,000, Bob can come to Ace Investment Properties and say, oh, Ace Investment Properties, I'd like you to rent up front, but I've got a tenant, oh, sorry, like, I don't want him to leave as well, he's a good tenant, he pays on time, I like him. Cool, we're like, Bob, no worries. Jim will just pay Ace Investment Properties and Co. £1,000 monthly, nothing will change for Jim. He just needs to sign a new 12-month tenancy. He'll pay us that £1,000 a month, and we'll give you 12,000 less any commission that we decide to charge. For full management, of course. Bob's your uncle, like, that's amazing. Like, let me get that 5 figures. So we give Bob that 5 figures, and now he can use that to, the best thing is to use it to invest in yourself in a proper portfolio. So we now have that ability. So what I am looking to do, because this prospective mentee of our network has a single let and he likes it and he does want to kick them out, we're offering him the ability to take Ace Investment Properties on as his managing agent, so we can provide him that 1 year's rent up front, keep his tenant, use his 12 months rent to invest in his education and his first service accommodation, so he can now supercharge himself and his business. Wow, listen. Me personally, I think it's a very unique and beautiful opportunity of what's been offered, because imagine that you've got a property, you're getting paid the monthly rent, you're making a little bit of money every single month. Or you can take that money, use it, make some investments right now, and change vehicle. Key thing, change vehicle to something that increases your cash flow now. So you're using an asset that gives you cash flow, you're getting that cash flow in advance to invest in another vehicle that will provide you a larger cash flow. It is genius if you ask me, and I think I'm very, very blessed and grateful to have the opportunity to provide this to people. So that's what we currently do. Very complex moving object to provide very effective solutions for individuals, landlords, prospective people that want to learn, everybody involved, to be fair. So yeah, that's what we're currently doing. I've got so many things more in the pipeline. Really, the implementation of everything going on is a lot of time consuming. Where we could really take it to the next level, that's just as soon as we get hands on deck. So right now I'm actually looking for hands on deck. Roles specifically, it's hard to put roles on things because everything's so like moving object, but nonetheless, that's what we currently do. Example of things we do, and we're service providers, man. We solve problems and provide services in property, mainly focused on lettings, and digital marketing, etc. is a very, very strong, powerful tool. Even this right now, I'm just recording this, talking about what I do. Like, I do this. This is not like I do this. Like, I do my job. But me just recording the camera now, wherever I put this, decide to put this, it's a form of digital marketing, because now we can potentially find someone who can provide their services to help. Because even a videographer, editing, like we do these boot camps, physical boot camps. I've got a lot of videos, a lot of content, a lot of testimonials, a lot of one-to-one, a lot of things that need to be edited and uploaded, a lot of content that could be marketed more effectively, a lot of people that probably need our services to help them that we need to find. So the digital space and customer facing problem solving is a really big area with a lot of potential to penetrate and make a lot of opportunity. So that is what we do. Looking to get deeper and become more efficient and help more people, and till then we keep doing what we're doing.